Welcome to Interviews, hosted by Randy Goodman, Harvey Callis Real Estate, your real estate professional. Get to know our community, our businesses, products, and services that will elevate your life. Please welcome your hostess, Randy Goodman.
Hi, everybody. It's Randy Goodman here from Harvey Callis Real Estate, and I am super excited to be here with Yolande Castello, who is the business owner of Divinely Bliss Vacations, and I can't wait to hear all about it. Thank you so much for being with me, Yolande.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be on this podium with you and to share, our thoughts and business.
Absolutely. I love it. Okay, perfect. So tell us a little bit about your business and what you're so passionate about there.
Well, I have a travel business. I've been in the industry for nearly 20 years, and I love to travel. So as far as I could remember, I've always been interested in traveling. At one point in time, I wanted to be a stewardess on an airplane, but somehow it was just by divine appointment that I got a job with a company.
No pun intended, divine, yeah.
There you go. I just kind of name dropped there. Divinely got appointed a position at my work, and they opened up a travel section, and I worked there for 15 plus years, got into the travel industry, and it was fantastic.
Okay, awesome. So you've been there for 15 years, and I don't want to age you, of course, but when you left school, what did you think you were going to be when you grew up?
You know what? I took political science. I did a minor in French, and to be honest, it was just one of those things where I was just like, okay, what is my destiny? What is it that is meant for me here on earth? What am I supposed to do, and how do I service other people?
Right.
And my job that I don't have that now in my own business, but the job that I had really was a job to help me pay my way through school.
Okay.
That's generally how it always starts out, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to be there forever. It's going to pay off my tuition. It's going to help me through school, and then that's the end of it.
Right.
No.
And then you end up doing it for the rest of your life.
There you go. Exactly. So, I'm enjoying it at this point in time. I love what I do. I have a passion for travel, and I understand it could be overwhelming because we have such a huge world with so much to do and explore and experience, and people really don't know where to start. They don't know where to begin because there's so much to see, and people want to do so many things, and where do I start?
Right.
So this is where I come in.
Okay, awesome. So tell us a little bit, like, how do you help your clients? Tell us a little bit about that story.
Right. So I provide a service, and in that service, I provide my clients with just different options of, okay, what are you looking for? I find that a lot of people, they have an idea of, I want to go somewhere, I have a budget, and I can only go for this long. So these are like the three main things that I hear lots of the times. But some people don't really know where they want to go. I mean, some people say, I a lot of the times, just speaking and counseling with my clients and asking them questions, and they say, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that. But then you realize, well, if I break it down for you in terms of, if it's like Italy, I had a client that wanted to go to Italy, and he wanted to do the whole thing on his own, which is fine. But not everybody's meant to do that, because it could be also very frustrating, especially if you don't speak the language. So I was able to break things down for the client as far as, what are you comfortable with? What are you comfortable with? What's your mobility like? Can you walk a lot? Are you a little immobile? Once we kind of, took some points down to figure out what they're comfortable with, and designed a package that was better suitable for them. And they loved it, because I could have just said yes and then just take their money on their way, and they come back and they say, I don't have time. So it's always important for me to really investigate what is it that you're truly looking for, and what are you capable of doing? Because some things require high intensity, high mobility, and some things are just like, you can just relax and just sit back and enjoy.
Absolutely. You're so right. And it's amazing that, people think, oh, I can do it, or I don't want to, give you the money kind of thing, or they think that they're spending so much more money if they hire somebody on, but what they're really doing is saving themselves a lot of money and a lot of time and energy. And they may be missing out on something that they didn't know about when they're not speaking to someone who has experience, especially in certain areas. So I'm all for, using people who are professionals in their industry, and you're going to get the best service. You're going to get all the right information. You're going to find out things you didn't know about. There's like so many reasons why you want to reach out to a professional, for travel. I mean, you guys, you may even know of discounts and other amazing things that you can do that maybe they wouldn't find out online. Like maybe things that locals know, like everybody wants to do it the way the locals do wherever they go, because then you get the real experience, not the touristy experience, right?
Absolutely correct. What I know, and you hit the nail right there. What I usually tell my clients is I provide a service in terms of I give back time to your family, because it's not easy to just, I mean, unless we're just talking about, I know where I want to go. I just want to go to Sandals, Montego Bay.
Right.
And then they're there. But a lot of the time, like, travel has changed and it's evolved within the past 20 years. And a lot of people are looking for more experiences. So, people still go to the Caribbean and you can still get an experience there. But a lot of people want to travel to Africa, to Europe, to South America. And those are real, true experiences that require a lot of work, a lot of investigation, a lot of research, because you want to go to the right places. You want to have the right experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So what works for one person, some people like food, so they want more of a food destination, and some people want more of a, I want to hike, so everybody has different experiences, and it could be in the same region, but you need to understand which tour would be best suitable for those two different types of people. So that's where I come in and I tell people, I give you back time to your family. So you're not spending hours upon hours trying to do research, frustrated, should we go here? The kids say no, the wife says yes. And then, if I'm taking care of it, then I can just bring it to you. And then you sit down with your family and enjoy, this is what Yolande brought to us.
Right.
And, this is great,
Well, you know what? Like I'll give like a little personal story. I traveled Europe for a few weeks with my youngest son a couple years ago, and we were doing a cruise, and then we were hopping from country to country to country. I hit like 12 countries that month, and it was so much fun. But honestly, my head was like blowing up, thinking, how am I going to plan all this? Like, I need somebody to book, like, this is what I want to do, these are the dates I want to do it, and somebody else found me all the flights, all the hotels, different things that we wanted to do, making suggestions in those areas. And I'm telling you, my head would have blown up if I had to do all that by myself. But I also got things booked that I wanted booked. I didn't mess it up, kind of thing, right? The hotel or the driver or whoever was there when they were supposed to be there, so, and I had support to call in case something, didn't fall into place properly, which it did. But, I totally believe in and would use a travel person, a travel specialist, to book those kinds of things. But I want to ask you a question, because I know a lot of people think, as far as cruises go, oh, I'm going to book my own, or I'm going to book it because I want to get the points through whatever cruise line they're booking with. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Like, what's your opinion on it? What's the reality on that? Just to kind of shed light.
As far as people choosing to book on their own, as opposed
to through you guys.
Yeah. I mean, you also have the ones where they have the credit cards and they want to book on their credit card or through the company that their credit card uses so that they can accumulate the points. And those people that choose to use a travel agent will still use a travel agent in those circumstances. Like, I belong to a very big industry of other travel business owners that have clients as well, and I myself included, where they have their credit cards or their other points programs that they want to book through, and they want to still earn those points. So they still will use us, and what we will do is we'll call that particular company, whether it's the credit card company that they use or whomever, and we will book it through them, and then we just charge them a service fee because they still value the time that they want with their own family, and they ask us, you know what, can you book it through this engine? We call, and it's perfectly fine. We book it through that search engine or through that agent for that customer so that they can still get their points.
Okay.
And then we book it, and we just charge them a service fee, which is usually very, very minimal. But there's still other aspects of the vacation that still need to be booked outside of even whatever points they may or may not have. And then I have clients that use their points, and then I book the other half of their vacation. So that works as well. I'm a big believer of trying to do everything together so that if anything does happen, like you have to cancel for whatever reason, then you're not back and forth between two different companies, because then that can be overwhelming for a client.
Right. Yeah.
They have to go back and forth. It's always good to try and put the whole entire package together with one company. But I'm very flexible. I really want the experience to be about the client. I want them to feel comfortable. I want them to feel like they're also included in the decision making. And it's not just about me forcing my opinions, you know? So.
Right. And I know, like, not just with cruises, but when people go to different cities, there's some, more popular tourist attractions or tourist tours that would get really packed up really quickly, right? And would be full. Not everybody likes to travel in large groups or be just another dollar sign in a group to whoever the tour guide is, right? They want more of a personal or special experience than just being part of a large group. And I think that you guys contribute a lot to that as well. Like, you can find them those guides in those groups, but I think you guys would have more knowledge in finding other options where they can still experience those tours and not have to be part of some mass gathering in order to experience it. And you guys have those connections or know where to look to find them or whatnot. And I think that's really important to enhancing someone's experience when they're on a trip, right? Because like, how many times do people get to go on family trips every year? Sometimes people don't get to go on any. So when they do go on one, it's really special, and they want it to be an incredible experience, especially if they can't afford to do that all the time. So I think it's really important to have a conversation with you and be able to do that. So do you have any areas around the world that you specialize in, or do you just help people like everywhere?
Yeah, well, I have an associate that works under me, and right now I've been in my own personal business for going on to 2.5 years, almost 3. And right now, what we've noticed, we're not in particular, I mean, this is the whole part of me expanding my business. I would definitely like to expand and have different portions of my business specialize in certain things, but we do everything. So, I mean, we've done group weddings before. We do a lot of groups, and that can be international. I did a group a couple of years ago of 50 people to Dubai.
Nice.
And that was fantastic. They had a great time. But yeah, we definitely, pardon me?
A lot of people.
It was a lot of people, and the organization was very thankful, because they're like, we wouldn't be able to handle 50 people with 50 different personalities. It was a fantastic experience, though. It was enjoyable, and you really have to be organized, and that's another really important thing. is in this business, I mean, you're dealing with money, you're dealing with suppliers, there's dates, you want to make sure you're booking people. Like I've had friends before that accidentally booked themselves the wrong direction. So they thought, and they booked, like they called me. I'm like, can you look into this flight for me? I looked into it. They're like, I can probably get it cheaper, thanks. And then they called me the next day. I booked it the wrong way. I'm like, you're supposed to be going, but you're actually booked it as if you were leaving that destination. She's like, yes. I'm like, no. It's a very stressful thing when you're online and you're booking and you see so many numbers and so many dates and so many times. And this is why, I mean, I understand there's some people out there that are very savvy and they want it and they enjoy doing that.
Yeah.
And that's great. What I say to them is, you can do it, but what I give you back is your time.
Right.
So the 1 hour, because it's not going to take you 10 minutes to find something. The 1 hour at least minimum that you're going to take a day to find something, you can do so many things with your own family, even with yourself. You can do you can go on a massage, you can go work out within an hour while I'm doing all the work. And then you know what? I give it back to them. I say, okay, this is what I found. I have 10 different things or 3 different things. You go through it. So they still feel like they're picking and choosing what they want, even though I give them an option. Yeah. You're still being included in the transaction.
Right. Absolutely. I love that. Yeah, I was going to ask you to give us an experience of a client. You're saying it right there, but feel free to give us an experience that somebody had that maybe they messed up on their own or took forever and you were able to help them, diminish all of that.
Yeah, well, there's a couple, but there was one situation where a client of mine, she was going to France, and I booked her and her daughter to go. And she gave me, now I'm very particular with dates and names, especially passport. Like right now since 9/11, they're so particular. Like a name change after the fact can cost you almost thousands of dollars, even though you didn't travel yet. So I always make sure that I tell my clients, make sure your name is as per your current passports. Right. And if you're getting an updated passport, then the name should be what's on your updated. So this client gave me the name of her and her daughter. It was her and her daughter traveling. And she told me that she's going through a name change, but she said the name change is going to go through because we had like 6 months to deal with this. So she assured me that everything's going to be fine. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. So I put the name, tickets, everything, Euro rail passes for the trains to connect to different cities, was in everybody's name. And then I would say 2 or 3 months prior to them leaving, she calls me and says her ex-husband's giving her problems and things are going to work out. And she said that it fell through. So she is not able to get the name changed. What can she do? Well, I said, okay, I'm going to call the consolidator because I was working with the consolidator. I wasn't working directly with the airline. Right. So I called the consolidator and they said it's going to cost her $1,800. Yeah. Really? So then I said to her, okay. So I'm the type of person that doesn't panic. I always think, okay, let me just go back to the client and see what they say. Yeah. So I told her, she's like, okay, give me about 2 weeks and then and then I'll make the change because, we have to do it. I have to do it because I don't want any problems. I'm like, yeah, you're going to have to do it. Well, so without me telling her, because I don't like to get people's high hopes up, I go behind the scenes, go to a contact that I have, told them the situation. So I went directly to the airline. And sometimes we have that power to kind of go around as travel agents. So, because we have so many connections and within being in the industry for such a long time, we have those connections and those close connections with our partners, the airlines, the suppliers, the consolidators. Right. So I went and spoke to the airline and basically gave them her flight information and they changed it for free.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
So I told her not right away, but because I wanted to make sure. And then everything was changed. I said to her, by the way, you don't owe me $1,800. Use that money now for you and your daughter. And she was like really in tears that was extra money that she has that she thought she was going to pay, but everything worked out. perfectly.
I love that. That's a great
Yeah.
story. Thank you for sharing that. And yeah, those are the kinds of things that you guys would have, like the ins and outs to, that could have cost her, like, and if she didn't have very much money, that's a huge dip
Yeah.
in your spending money on your trip or the things that you're able to do with your child. That's a huge impact. So yeah, for all you out there. That was a good story. Thank you. So I know it's important to you to also give back to society and, do your part. Tell us a little bit about that.
So right now we're still young as a company, and what we do every year, what I've been doing with my neighborhood is we host a community barbecue. So every year for the past, I want to say 6 years, we've been hosting a community barbecue. And that's really just getting our community together to kind of get to know each other, to kind of, open the doors of communication. And also, I'm also like a co-chair for a neighborhood watch in our neighborhood. So we also like to keep people up to date with what's going on in our neighborhood. Get to know our neighbors, because that's extremely important, especially if you're traveling.
Yeah.
And, coming from the experience of a travel agent myself, I always want to make sure that these are important things. So if your neighbors are around and you're traveling, at least someone's keeping an eye out. This year, I have good working relationship with some of the counselors and MPPs in my region. Mm-hmm. So what I'd like to do, because of COVID, we're thinking of doing, because more than likely we're not going to be able to break this COVID-19 anytime soon. So instead of having what would be the standard community barbecue, we want to do like a virtual barbecue possibly, and then donate the funds to an organization.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So how would that work?
Well, we are in the midst of discussing it. So I have to just discuss it with my counselor, and we're thinking of doing something virtual where we all connect up in some way, shape, or form, whether it's through Google Hangouts or through Zoom, and we just come out with our barbecues. We live on a court. Everybody sort of, who wants to get involved, come outside, barbecue. We'll have some music, and we'll pay people to come in, and whether it's an ice cream truck or a food vendor, the ideas are endless. So, and the counselor that's in our region is on board and thinks it's a great idea. Mm-hmm. It's just a way of thinking of giving back, especially to some of the food banks that have come up short within the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think outside the box and how my business can come together and, help support our community.
Nice. I love that. And thank you for being part of your community and giving back, because it's so important. So do you have any tips or suggestions for our audience? And it can be personal or professional, whatever's resonating with you.
I think for me, and the challenges that I'm experiencing, I've realized that it takes a lot of work, a lot of responsibility, a lot of patience. And the reality is it's a learning progress. We're all learning. And I understand that I'm in a position, I feel that I'm, in my God-given gifts, and I want to be able to explore that and share that with whomever I encounter. Mm-hmm. And I have to understand it's going to take a lot of patience, a lot of growth. And if I make mistakes, then I have to learn from it and move forward and not really harp on that, because it's a mistake, but really you're learning from that, because at least you know what didn't work. And you can learn from that and grow from that and expand and grow your business to a higher heights, right? So for me, that's sort of what I would take away with other people. And that's what I've actually told my own friends and other business professionals as well. It's patience. People are people, and I get that. We're all humans, we're all emotional, and sometimes people can get on your nerves, but in a professional environment, you have to understand that it's not about you, and not to take it personal. Even though sometimes people can make it personal, but you have your reputation to hold, and sometimes it's just better to just really, understand the perspective and not really receive the anger or the hostility that may come at your way, because it can come. There are situations where that you may see conflict. And it's just a matter of how you handle it, especially as a business owner, and being professional and understanding will go a long way. And I've had customers come back and apologize, in situations where they were really abrupt or upset, and I get it. I mean, you're in the moment, and the situations I understand, especially if it's concerning their own personal issues or whatever's going on in the world. I always try and have a level of patience and grace when it comes to that.
I love that. And I totally agree with you. And thank you for sharing that. So how can people get in touch with you?
So I have a few ways of getting a hold of me. So Facebook, I'm on Facebook under Divinely Bliss Vacations. If you just Google Divinely Bliss Vacations, you'll get my Facebook page. I'm also on Instagram, same name, Divinely Bliss Vacations. I'm working on a YouTube channel, so I have like a video there already. And I also have my website, which is www.divinelyblissvacations.ca or .com. You could also email me, and I'm accessible through all those social media portals. My email is my first initial Y, Castello, at divinelyblissvacations.ca. And you could also call me at 416-367-8263, extension 2617. So endless amount of ways to get in contact with me.
Oh, you blanked out there for a second.
And I do answer those social portals very, very often. Oh, okay. What was the last thing that you heard?
So you gave your contact info and then you said something after that.
Oh, I was just saying that you can reach me through all those aspects, and I'm on them all the time. So usually the response time is fairly quick, whether it's through Instagram or Facebook. I've had an hour to 2 hours, depending on where.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And thank you for sharing with us today. It's been a pleasure to have you.
Oh, it was a pleasure to speak with you. And thank you for giving me the platform to discuss my business and all the work that you're doing, Randy. You're an amazing woman.
Oh,
and hopefully after COVID, we can actually see each other face to face and, cheers, have a glass of wine, and, and just congratulate each other for our successes.
There you go. Thank you so much, honey. I look forward to it.
Thank you. Take care.
You too.
Thank you for listening to this interview hosted by Randy Goodman. We hope you will take action and connect with the incredible business people and leaders in our community. And remember, Randy is always here to answer any questions you have regarding your real estate needs. Be sure to register on the website and stay up to date on what's happening in your area at parkbench.com/millpond.